Hey guys, my name is Angel Manning. My program of study is interdisciplinary studies. My instructor's name for this course is Miss Sherry Bennett, and I'm taking this in the 2025 fall semester. So I would say that out of the 6 adjustment areas that we learned about, I struggle the most with either the academic or social area. For the academic area, I struggle with staying on top of my schoolwork due to the fact that I am a toddler mom and I work a full-time job. I did have to relocate, and I am about 13 hours away from my school. So I can't get any hands-on learning or hands-on experience or hands-on assistance because I'm so far. So that kind of adds to the struggle with that. Now, as far as the social aspect of it, I am an introvert. I don't make new friends with people. I struggle to make connections with people sometimes, and I'm very shy and reserved. So that kind of adds to why I struggle so much with that. Now, out of all the different resources that the Athens Technical College offers, me personally, I have used our bookstore of multiple times, from anywhere from buying school supplies, purchasing and locating my textbooks, purchasing some merchandise, and some technology to help with my studies as well. I have also used the financial aid office to assist with learning more and understanding more about the financial aid and what I need to do to maintain my financial aid and keep that going. Another thing is one of the unwritten rule that I am working on or trying to work on to improve is my note taking. I do take notes throughout my classes and my lectures, but sometimes I do get a little unorganized or I don't take the best of notes. So making sure that I'm working on that to ensure that my notes are organized, very thorough, so that I just have the best possibility of getting a better grade. Grit is the next thing that we're going to talk about, and to me this is very important. I mean, it's the passion and the drive that we have. For me, it makes me get out of bed every day and to keep working towards my goal. Grit is something that I've had to show a lot throughout my life. I had a very traumatic childhood where I missed a lot of school due to health reasons. My father passing away very young, my mother being a drug addict, and having all of those things dealing with. It was difficult. So if I didn't have that grit, I don't know that I would be where I am today. Next, I want to talk about my learning style, particularly the VARK learning styles. So from the questionnaire that I did with that, I learned that kinesthetic learning, which means that I learn by physical movement, hands-on experience, just actually physically doing whatever it is I'm learning about, or having something to fidget with while I'm learning. It helps me retain information better. But I'm also a very strong visual learner as well, which means having real life examples to watch or interact in helps me learn as well. And the last test that we had to do for this section was the Myers-Briggs personality type. And for this one, I got the 4-letter personality type INFJ. And this could affect my studying in a good way and a bad way. So in a good way is I have a very strong commitment to things. So I commit very hard, to my studies and to my schooling. But at the same time, it can harm me because I get severely overwhelmed, and then I start stressing out and stop wanting to do things. Next, we're going to talk about time management. There are some ways, there are places that I need to improve on time management, especially when it comes time to study. A lot of times I will leave it for the end of the week or really late at night, and sometimes that's not always the best, but it's hard being a full-time employee and a full-time mom. So I do the best that I can, but there's definitely room for improvement. One thing that I'm procrastinating right now would be writing my world history essay. It's a 6-page essay, and I just thoroughly do not enjoy writing essays, researching essays, reading essays, any of it. So I'm just procrastinating that. And lastly, for this section, we want to talk about our SMART goals and how they have progressed throughout the semester. So for my short-term academic, I stated that I wanted to bring my GPA back up to at least over a 3.0, and I want to pass all my classes with an 80. Now, I'm not sure if I've got my GPA up just yet. I won't know until after the semester is over and everything's finalized. But so far, I am passing everything with an 80 or above, so that's definitely good. My career goal, I wanted to become a game warden, and that is still something that I'm working on. However, it just takes time, and I'm not done with college. My personal goal, I wanted to become healthier, to become healthier for myself. I wanted to start working out. I haven't done this between life and depression. That's kind of why. And then financial goals, I wanted to pay off my RV and my car so I can buy a house. I have been working on these, but I haven't reached them yet. My degree of study, or my program of study, is interdisciplinary studies, and it is considered an associate's degree. You need 40 credit hours to graduate. Now, I'm a little confused because I did change my degree last semester, and so for the applied science degree, I had obtained already 27 hours, but it's still stating that I needed roughly about 37 hours for my interdisciplinary studies, so that's something I'm still going to have to work on. Now, while I don't typically really plan on using my interdisciplinary studies for my career choice, it will help me a little bit. I will come in after the training program as a higher ranking officer with a little bit of a pay raise because I have some college under my belt, but not necessarily required. Now, the program that I plan on going into after this is the Game Warden Academy. It is a very competitive program. The preliminary requirements are that you have to be 19 years old. You must have your high school or GED, be a U.S. citizen, as well as completing and passing their training programs, passing physical, medical, and mental examinations, and be a resident and have a valid state driver's license for Florida, and have less than 4 citations on your record. The next thing I'm going to talk about is an active role in learning. I take an active role in learning by making sure that I am limiting my distractions, taking notes, following up to ensure that I'm, doing as best as I can. So for my studying ways that I do is I read all of my course material for each classes. And what I will do is some classes I will write in a blue pen for that entire semester. And then for the next class, I write in a black one so that it's just a little bit of variation. I will do different kinds of notebooks, notebook paper, a binder with notebooks, and spiral notebooks. I do study about 4 to 6 hours per week. I do study outside, typically under my patio, at night or in the evenings once my toddler goes to sleep, because I have a big table I can spread everything out with, and it's quiet and peaceful and distraction free. I am preparing for this semester's finals next week, and I'm just going through old coursework, old notes, just to make sure that I'm prepared. Some ways to reduce test anxiety is to ensure you've eaten a good meal, gotten a good night's rest, and just breathing exercises. I believe that creative thinking can help you develop smart, innovative ways to solve problems and coming up with new ways to study and to make sure you retain the information that you've learned. And analytic thinking can be used in everyday life, especially in my career field, because things can be very complex when you're out on a call, and you must stay calm and logical to make sure that everybody remains safe. I think that the Athens Technical College library resources that I use the most would be Google Scholar or Galileo. I feel that's how you're supposed to say it. And I use this often when I'm doing my writing assignments, and I will continue using those throughout my college degree. Some rules for communicating online that we learned about was just making sure that you are just being respectful to everyone. Also, make sure you don't use capital letters if you're writing an email, posting online. Like, that could be interpreted as you are screaming at people or you're angry. Don't bully people. Don't be rude or hateful, anything like that. And remember, when you're interacting with people on social media, they can't hear the tone in your voice. They can't see your body language, your face expressions. So they don't know how you're actually meaning to say those things. Some barriers for communication are language, cultural, emotional disabilities, things like that. And then ways to improve your listening skills is just to make sure there's no distractions around you, making eye contact, reading lips, following up with questions, so that the person that you're talking to knows that you're listening and actually giving a crap about what they're saying. I unfortunately was stereotyped as poor and trashy as a child because my mother was a drug addict. I would miss a lot of school and didn't always have the nicest things, and sometimes would be very exhausted, hungry, or dirty going to school. This made it very hard to be stereotyped like that because people looked at you different, thought of you differently. I have the privilege of being able to afford to go to college and getting to travel around the world with my family when I get to. I know everyone doesn't get to do that, and I'm very thankful. And some ways that we play a role in civility and civil engagement is just to always be respectful, participate within the community in the civil things, stay informed and educate others, and just be a good role model. Have good behavior. Just be a good person. It's that easy. Some of the ways that I worked on modifying my budget throughout this semester was I cut out my subscriptions and I really watched my spending. And the stuff that I did spend money on, I made sure to add it into the budget. And that was it. I do have a savings plan and a savings account, but not an investment plan. My savings account and plan is also used for my emergency fund. It's kind of just all in one, but that's the best that I can do right now. I do have and use my Pell Grant and my Hope Scholarship. With the Hope Scholarship, you must be a full-time student, so you must at least have 3 classes a semester, contain a 3.0 GPA, and be a resident of Georgia. Now, for the Pell, you have to meet the federal requirements, have your GED, high school diploma, and be a U.S. citizen. Some ways that you can improve your sleep are making sleep a priority, sleeping in a cool, quiet, dark room, avoid eating late, drinking alcohol or caffeine close to bedtime. Some healthy ways to deal with stress are deep breathing, meditating, exercising, having a stress toolkit available to you in your back pocket is always nice. Now, I am not involved in any student organizations, and quite frankly, I don't have the time. I'm too far away that I do not believe that I will ever join any. I do see a benefit in them, but I just can't. For my career choice of becoming a game warden, the starting salary is roughly about $33,000. I do believe I have a good personality for this because while I may be an introvert and very reserved and quiet, at the same time, I can be a leader and pretty assertive if I need to. And I work well alone with others and by myself. I am very empathic, so I can understand where people are coming from and I can understand their actions and things like that. And 5 to 10 years from now, I see myself as a homeowner living in Florida on the beach, being a full-time game warden.